Whether it was due to the once seemingly impossible comeback of an iconic figure out of the blue and snow, or a truly savage beatdown catching just about the entire planet off guard on the night, these wrestling occurrences all stunned the world in the best way possible. Gareth here from What Culture Wrestling, and here are 10 amazing wrestling moments that came totally out of nowhere. Number 10, Brock breaks the dead man and his streak. It's probably wise to get arguably the biggest shocker in WrestleMania history out of the way early, right? And while there will always be those who argue that such a monumental victory should have been reserved for an up-and-coming talent or a full-time main event sensation, who else on the WWE roster around the time of WrestleMania 30 could have realistically brutalized The Undertaker to the point of massacring his precious streak? The somewhat underwhelming build heading into that latest chapter of the Beast vs. the Dead Man seemed to suggest that Taker was unquestionably walking out of New Orleans with a 22-0. Yet it was perhaps that rather understated lead-in that set the stage for the planet to react in the way it did. The second it became clear the Demon of Death Valley wasn't rising up off the canvas after a third and final F5. Shocked meme faces aplenty, and a both astounding and unsettling visual that will be scorched into wrestling history forever. Number 9, Roderick Strong becomes undisputed. NXT Takeover New Orleans 2018. Jumping back to November 1st, 2017, a certain Roderick Strong opting to turn down the opportunity to become the newest member of the Undisputed Era on an episode of NXT helped to set the stage for the long-awaited return of all things War Games. Or should I say, War Games. And it was that violent swerve a few months earlier that helped to completely conceal any concept of the back-breaking star ever aligning himself with the likes of Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly, heading into TakeOver New Orleans NXT Tag Team Championship Dusty Rhodes Classic Triple Threat Final. Easy for me to say. With Cole and O'Reilly trying to stave off the challenge of the Authors of Pain and Strong and Pete Dunne without the help of an injured Fish, the group's usual numbers game seemingly not being there to call upon, looked destined to lead to an NXT Tag Team Championship loss. But little did fans know that old Roddy had actually planned on sticking the knife into his bruiserweight partner, with his deeply unexpected turn even catching Cole and O'Reilly off guard on the night. A development that subsequently led to one of the most deliciously smug grins of AC's career. Few moments are as fun to watch for the jaw-dropping action in between the ropes as they are for the simply stunned reaction from all those in attendance. This is one of them. Number 8, The Rock joins the corporation. Survivor Series 1998. WWE and Vince Russo managed to pull off an utterly masterful piece of unanticipated business under the bright lights of Survivor Series 1998. With The Rock very much butting heads with his boss in the lead up to that year's edition of the Big Four event, one that saw some of the company's finest battle it out in a tournament to crown a new WWF champion, everything looked to be pointing towards Vince McMahon doing everything in his power to get his top strap on his apparent new chosen one, Mankind. But in a moment that evidently riffed on the controversial events that had gone down at the event 1 year earlier, you know what I'm talking about, Mr. McMahon's ringing of the bell without Mankind even hinting at submitting to a Rocky sharpshooter in the final set the table for a hug heard around the world. Just like that, a star that was finally starting to click with those inside arenas well and truly turned his back on the people, and likely led to an entire generation suffering from WWE trust issues going forward. Number 7, Tommaso Ciampa does it himself. NXT TakeOver Chicago. Another game-changing turn left the Black and Gold faithful in need of a serious lie down 1 year before Roddy's unexpected takeover twist. And while the odd breadcrumb had admittedly been left in the form of Tommaso Ciampa teasing lashing out against his DIY pal Johnny Gargano after coming up short against him in the 2016 Cruiserweight Classic, that still couldn't prepare those inside of the All-State Arena for the events that would follow the babyface duo's failed attempt at recapturing doubles gold at TakeOver Chicago. With Tommaso ultimately fearing the idea of being replaced and forgotten the second it became clear that he'd done some serious damage to his knee, Ciampa absolutely shocked the world by snapping on Johnny Wrestling as the Go Home NXT logo bled onto screens. Still ranking as easily one of the most startling WWE beats of modern times, Blackheart broke the hearts of fans the world over, after Trips and the gang had brilliantly lured their passionate supporters into a false sense of security. More of this in 2023, yeah? Number 6, Tyson Fury decks Theory's cash-in hopes, Clash at the Castle. castle, with the champ being spotted chatting to both Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre backstage at various points. The way WWE managed to infuse the heavyweight world champion into the madness was about as unpredictable as it gets. Once again teasing a scenario where the tribal chief could have been relieved of his undisputed WWE Universal Championship without actually having to eat a pinfall or submission, Austin Theory's music dramatically hit as both titans lay battered in the middle of the ring. The pop was real, I tell ya, and I know, I was there, but it paled in comparison to the one that met the sound of Fury's fist shockingly colliding with the youngster's head, as he once again failed to cash in his Money in the Bank contract. Number 5, Kevin Owens butts the boss. SmackDown, September 12, 2017. Nothing guarantees an unfiltered eruption of unsettled noise, quite like the visual of a decrepit old man getting horrifically brutalized in the middle of a ring. And that was precisely what went down when Kevin Owens suddenly decided to lay his hands on his one-time boss back in September 2017, in the lead up to a Hell in a Cell battle with Vince's son, Shane, and the unplanned visual of the WWE chairman in his early 70s being busted open hard way by a prizefighter headbutt actually helped further ramp up the tension and drama of a program that had already seen the despicable KO take aim at Shane's kids in a promo. McMahon wasn't done there though, because of course he wasn't, as the former Universal Champion then nailed his now disgraced former boss with both a superkick and frog splash, just to really hammer home how far he was willing to go to inflict torture on Shane and his family, and leave everyone watching on with their jaws dangling off the floor for that matter. Number 4, Aubry feels the wrath of Athena. AEW Rampage, November 18th, 2022. AEW's refusal to unleash the sight of a performer lashing out at an official as often as some of their rivals paved the way for an exchange which managed to wake up a typically sleepy Rampage crowd recently, with Athena fully embracing the evil within on the back of her recent victory over Madison Rayne. The former WWE star opted to inflict further damage on her already emphatically beaten adversary, and it was this post-match battering that ultimately led to a concerned Aubrey Edwards trying to intervene, only to eat an absolute shot to the mug for her troubles from the out-of-control Athena. One deliciously violent thump later, the one-time Ember Moon went from pretty horrible villain to public enemy number 1 in an instant. If only more of these 1-hour slices of AEW Friday night action boasted this sort of shocking crowd-popping brilliance, eh? Number 3, Daniel Bryan is shockingly cleared, then turns heel not long after. SmackDown, March 20th, 2018. It was no secret that Bryan had been doing everything in his power to reverse his heartbreaking retirement, undergoing hyperbaric oxygen therapy treatments during his 2 years away from the squared circle. But both Bryan and WWE weren't content with merely stunning the planet with this heartwarming news of him actually being in the clear. Nearly 8 months on from that rousing return, Bryan managed to come away with both a set of phenomenal balls to place on his mantelpiece and his first WWE Championship since laughing in the face of retirement. And an almost instantly iconic Planet's champion was magnificently and appallingly born in the process. Number 2, Malachi Black is unexpectedly all elite. AEW Dynamite Road Rager 2021. Those let go by the biggest wrestling player in town usually find themselves sitting on the sidelines for 90 days, and that's what made the deeply unexpected arrival of the former Aleister Black on AEW programming such a staggering sight to behold. Black had only been let go from WWE on June 2nd, 2021, yet here he was on July 7th's Dynamite Road Rager just over a month later. But how, I hear you say? Well, as reported by PW insiders Mike Johnson, AEW's fierce rival had actually made a rather embarrassing clerical error. Rather than updating his deal from the 30-day non-compete NXT performers tend to be given to the typical 90-day version upon calling Black up to the main roster a few years back, the company completely missed this all-important detail. And that's what paved the way for one of the loudest waves of raw amazement ever to suddenly crash onto the AEW scene. Number 1, it's Sting! AEW Dynamite Winter is Coming 2020. It was in those darkest of times that Tony Khan's promotion seemed to find a way to deliver more flickers of hope than ever. Jon Moxley's passionate first reign with the AEW World Championship, the late Mr. Brody Lee's epic rise, and the sort of in-ring work that could instantly drag you away from the depressing reality outside your door week after week after week. But the moment that easily ranks as the most memorable and celebrated occurrence from those dark mid-pandemic days came during a particularly cold night on the All Elite calendar known as Winter is Coming, with AEW ultimately sending their audience home with the infuriating visual of Kenny Omega cheating his way to a victory against Jon Moxley and his first AEW World Championship win. Tony Khan knew he had to deliver a simply euphoric moment of unexpected awesomeness beforehand, and he did not disappoint with the debut of an icon. Saying nothing, Sting was able to leave audiences hanging on his every step air throughout an absolutely electric 3-minute TNT return. And perhaps even more amazingly, the best was still yet to come from the icon on AEW television. And that's our list of any other amazing wrestling moments that came totally out of nowhere. Let us know all about them in the comments section right down below, and do not forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're at it. Also, if you really like this kind of thing, then head on over to whatculture.com and find some more incredible articles just like the one this video you're watching right now is based on. I've been Gareth from What Culture Wrestling. Thank you as always for clicking on this fantastic video today. Hopefully I'll see you very, very soon, but in the meantime, hey, you alright. Bye-bye.